fellow moms and dads, I'm Chelsea, the photographer and videographer here at Mabel's Labels. Have you ever seen a beautiful cake pop and thought they'd be the perfect DIY for your child's birthday or your next event? Surely there's tons of tutorials and how-tos and tips online on how to make the most beautiful and perfect cake pop. So did we. You're about to watch our best attempt at a cake pop tutorial. Feel free to learn from our mistakes or just enjoy watching our epic fail. I'll pop in at the end of this video, such a bad joke, and share some of our tips and advice for brave parents who want to try this family fun activity at home. All right, so let's start from the beginning where everything went smoothly. Here is what we used: box cake mix, decoration of choice. We chose a pretty panko colored food dust, or what I thought was going to be pretty, pre-made icing, bags of candy melt, a pack of sticks, and an adorable sous chef. This is my daughter, Lita Jo. First thing we did was bake a cake according to the instructions on the back of the box. The step was truly as easy as advertised. The next step is the very best part of the whole process and actually was fun for the whole family.
Are you going to do it with your fingers?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Ready?
Oh.
Put our fingers in.
We simply had to break apart the cake into crumbs. This is where your adorable sous chef will truly shine. And don't worry, everyone washed their hands. Next, we added in a full container of icing. This is still quite fun and easy. I would do this all again just to watch my daughter have a fun sensory experience. It was nice to see her experiencing food firsthand, and it was pretty cute. And like most toddlers, when she was done, she was done. Full disclosure, we do not recommend this recipe for dogs. Once the cake and icing mix has the consistency of a thick batter and can hold its shape, it's ready. Next, we started the candy melt process by filling up a pot of water, setting it to medium heat, and placing a bowl over top of the boiling water to melt the candy in. This is a great way to melt the candy at a consistent heat and avoid burning. The bowl will get hot, so we use a tea towel to keep it steady and a wooden spoon to stir. And we may have taken some cute puppy breaks while we waited for everything to melt. And he waited for more crumbs. It takes quite a while for the candy to fully melt, so we decided to get the cake pop batter formed into balls while we waited. We used a tablespoon to help get a consistent size. Simply scoop the batter, roll with your hands into a nearly perfect ball, and repeat. This is still not the hard part, don't worry. We decided to add a tablespoon of oil to the candy melt to help get a smoother consistency. This was a little tip we picked up online and it seemed to work quite well. Next, we put a bit of chocolate on the end of the sticks and pressed them into the balls to help glue everything together. I'm not gonna lie, we thought this was pretty brilliant. Once all the pops were done, we stuck them in the freezer to get them nice, solid, and cold. This was our first challenge because who actually has room for something like this in their freezer? That's so not gonna work. So we faked it for the video and put it in the garage. It's really cold where we are right now. We decided to add 2 more tablespoons of oil because we were getting concerned that the candy was still looking a little lumpy. And that seemed to work. So we poured our candy melts into the cup ready for dipping and got our cake pops from the freezer, also known as our wintry outdoors. We checked to make sure that the batter was firm and cold to the touch. That's how we knew they were ready. And now begins the worst part of this whole process. Take your expectations and lower them by a lot. At this point, we thought we were doing amazing. We thought this was so easy. We were like, all we have to do is dip this chocolate and we're done. Well, this happened. So we learned to let the pop drip upside down for a while first, which became a very, very long process. I'm talking 2 to 5 minutes a pop. So when you're making a batch of, say, a dozen, you're looking at half an hour or longer just to dip the chocolate. It's gonna take a while. And after some online research, we learned that, yep, this is actually how you're supposed to do it. However, we did have some success, and tapping the sticks seemed to help release the excess a little bit quicker. Eventually, we got pretty good at it. But this was after a lot of failed attempts and waste. Batter fell off sticks, the icing would look ugly or separate. Eventually, most of them started to crack when they fully hardened. And then this beautiful powder that I thought was gonna look gorgeous and super trendy ended up looking super matte and ugly. And these definitely didn't compare to what you can get from a bakery or store. And by the end, we were pretty over it. All right, so to wrap up on what you just saw there, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this DIY if you want something really beautiful and perfect for an event. If you're looking for just a tasty treat, totally doable. And it was a lot of fun to get my daughter involved and my friend and her husband all in, interacting and enjoying this activity. Now, a couple tips if you are going to try this. It helps a lot to keep the cake pops nice and cold. We found after a while they started to thaw, and then it was easier for the cake pop sticks to slip out. So we'd have to go and freeze them again and then do another round. I have no tips in terms of how to stop the cracking when they do dry. I mean, it still holds together, but you might want to decorate creatively around this problem. If you pipe some icing, say, or like roll them in sprinkles, I think you would nicely hide the mistakes better. Also, if you want to make cake pops that like stand upside down as opposed to like freestanding ones, then I think this would go a lot easier. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed learning from our trial and error. And if you do attempt these at home, I'd love to hear it in the comments below of what I could do differently next time when I'm brave enough to try this again. Maybe, probably not. Okay, see ya. What's this killer in the night? Hey fellow moms and dads, I'm Chelsea, the photographer and videographer here at Mabel's Labels. Do you have anything to say? Say comment and like and subscribe.